revolutionary, a natural-born hustler, a music man. That's how a new documentary remembers the late, great Michael Gudinski. Legendary music promoter helped forge the careers of so many artists we know and love today, and his death in 2021 left a huge hole in the Australian recording industry. Those who knew him best have shared some of their treasured memories in Ego, the Michael Gudinski Story, which premiered at the Melbourne International Film Festival last night. The documentary charts his meteoric rise to the top as his music label, Mushroom Group, marks 50 years of filling arenas and shaping stars.
You'd feel he's in the building, he's somewhere.
Bam! He'd blast through the door.
It's the world premiere of Ego, the Michael Gudinski Story, here at the Melbourne International Film Festival. And it's hard to think of a more appropriate title for a documentary about the late, great Michael Gudinski, founder of Mushroom Records, passionate advocate for Australian music and friend to some of the biggest rock stars in the world. Because when it comes to him, ego is not a dirty word.
Ego is not a dirty word.
This doco about Michael Gudinski is called Ego.
Yeah.
And according to Skyhooks, ego is not a dirty word.
According to Gough Whitlam, as I recall, he used the same expression. I haven't seen this, so I'm curious, and I intend to outlive everybody here, because that way my version becomes the facts.
I tell you what, I work in showbiz. Never heard of ego.
No, never met anyone with one.
Never.
The first few years of Mushroom, there was a crazy risk.
The idea for the documentary started before Michael passed, when it was going to be about the celebration of Mushroom 50. But, you know, when Michael passed, we decided to refocus it on his life because he was a big personality and he deserved a big screen.
When will you come to your senses? When will you fall for me?
Well, that dress code for tonight was rock and roll glamour. Nobody has fulfilled that more than Vika. And Linda, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, really.
Thank you, Ange.
What did Michael Gudinski mean to you girls?
He meant the world to us because he was so good to us, Ange, from the very beginning. We signed to Mushroom, I think, more than 40 years ago. Shush. Well, who cares?
Matt, this must be an emotional night for you, but there's a lot of good feeling in the room.
Yeah, and I think it's a night my family and I are very proud of. The film means so much to us and we're really happy with what's been put together, and to celebrate it in Melbourne as part of such an important event, the International Film Festival, is something I know my dad would be really chuffed by, and at one of the great music venues of Melbourne, the Forum Theatre as well.
We're going to make you a star, kid.
He's always looking for something that somebody hasn't heard yet.
It's a great array of names who wanted to pay tribute to your dad in this film. Were you surprised by some of the stories?
No, definitely not. Look, I'd heard most of them, but it was great to hear a lot of them back and just to see how much respect there was for my dad out there.
Can I get a black eye?
He was really special to me. I was super young in the industry and he sort of just took me under his wing, you know, and I did a little bit of work with Jimmy Barnes when I was 13, so it was a special relationship that I have.
He was just so passionate about Australian music. Like, that's what you could never get away from.
So passionate. I remember he was just the person that you could call and just go, hang on a minute, what am I doing with my life? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? He was that guy.
Michael Chugg, I imagine this is a bit of an emotional night for you seeing this movie.
Yeah, it is. It will be. I flew all the way from Auckland at 6:30 this morning.
I think this is a great moment, though, because as well as celebrating Michael, we're celebrating Australian music, which is what
We
it's
are
all
celebrating Australian music, and it's great that mainstream things like this are happening because Michael deserves it, Australian music deserves it. It's great.
What's your favourite memory of Michael Gudinski?
Probably rolling around on the floor at my home with my dog. Trying to boss it around, tell it to sit still, and drinking a beautiful bottle of red as we always did with Michael. Oh, there's so many good memories, there's so many special memories, and it's so nice to be here tonight. I'm really looking forward to celebrating him.
I first met him before radio because I was in a band and I wanted to, and so I was hoping that he'd help me out in that regard. He did. They had Mushroom published our music back in the day. Yeah, the most money I ever made off our music was through Mushroom Publishing, but most of us...
How much?
Well, we made a few thousand, like tens of thousands of dollars, but most of our music ended up in the background of the diner for Home and Away.
Michael Gudinski, how are you?
I'd just like to see that more Australian artists get the chance to break overseas.
This is the guy who had Sting, Bruce Springsteen, Ed Sheeran, Elton John's phone numbers in his phone, and he still had time for the likes of us.
How much would you like that phone? Ange Bishop, who's got that phone?
I'm sure it's in very safe hands.
His wife's got it.
Probably.
If anyone can crack it, she can.
I think that's the thing about Michael. He was very, very supportive of Australian music.
What will you always remember about Michael Gudinski?
I was like the human tornado, really.
No comment. I can't remember.
Let's have a big cheer for Mr. Gudinski!
Long live Australian rock and roll, thank you.
Here we go.
And Ego, the Michael Gudinski Story is in cinemas around Australia on the 31st of August.